What is this wooden box that opens up, dated 1963, with Cyrillic writing? I was running an estate sale that was mostly a military collection from World War II to Vietnam. 99% of them are US military collectibles, so this stood out. The sons who inherited the estate weren't sure either. Around 7.5 inches long, 3.5 inches wide, it weighs 8.5 ounces and is made entirely of wood. My initial thought was a small ammo box, but I'm not actually sure. I sincerely and genuinely appreciate any and all helpful insights or information. It's a Soviet Union blast-type anti-personnel wooden mine, made to avoid detection by metal detectors. They were widely used from World War II through the Cold War and saw deployment in various global conflicts by Soviet-aligned forces. It's a simple rectangular wooden box with a thin wooden lid acting as a pressure plate. When stepped on, the lid collapses, triggering a striker to hit the detonator. Due to its minimal use of metal, it was virtually undetectable by 1940s metal detectors. What is this wooden tapered dowel with metal found near the water? It appears to be older wood. It has two metal pieces attached, and a green one at the top looks like some copper or copper alloy. Does anyone know what it's from? This is the remnants of a 1930s Pfluger Mustang fishing lure. The vertical portion of the lip has rusted away. The broken loop portion at the front was the line tie. Some versions of this lure have dual line ties, but this was the single. The hardware toward the center of the lure is where the front hook was attached. This hook hardware is called a surface rig. They made this lure from the 30s to the 70s. What is this contraption I found in the attic? Around 16 inches long, made of heavy wood, with a metal slider on a track. It kind of looks like a can crusher, but I think it's too small for that purpose. I'm super curious to know what it is. Any ideas? It's a Texas native inertia nutcracker, missing a rubber band. You'd pull the long bit back and the nut would be in the cylinder bit. Let go, and the force cracks the nut. It was patented on August 18, 1970, by Henry H. Turner of Columbus, Georgia, and manufactured by RP Industries Incorporated of Raleigh, North Carolina. What is this hollow metal thing found 6 years ago on a beach in southern England? It has no visible markings. Apologies for the quality, I'm stuck with an older camera phone. Thanks in advance for the help. It's a combustor from a Rolls-Royce jet engine. It was probably from a plane crash. It is the part where air and fuel are mixed and burned to produce high-energy, high-temperature gases. These gases then expand through the turbine and exhaust, generating thrust or mechanical power. What is this cast iron plate I found in my late neighbor's? I have no clue what it is. It says on the front, AM Gun Company, New York, and for 22 cartridges. The back has circular rings down to the center, with a small hole, and I believe the imprint says 10. Google gives me nothing but actual guns. Does anyone know? It's a target plate that makes an extra ring when you get a bullseye, likely from the early 1900s to the 1950s, when cast iron targets were popular for both professional and recreational shooting. I'm thinking it's a knockoff of the Quackenbush target, sold by AM Gun Company, and more than likely distributed by Sears. What is this heavy steel item with two large spheres, found in a project garage among lots of woodworking and mechanics tools? It is about as long as my forearm. It seems to be made of steel, and the center rods can slide and pivot around the shaft they are attached to. The spheres were painted, although the paint is peeling, but the rest of it appears unpainted. The garage owner had a large collection of mechanics tools and a large collection of woodworking equipment. However, there was also a lot of miscellaneous storage, so it may not be related. We have tried Google reverse image searching, but didn't see anything particularly compelling. Any idea what it is? It's an early 20th century toilet seat hinge. The bolts are counterweights to slow the lowering of the seat, and the gaskets on the bolts are to protect the enamel on the toilet bowl. A heavy wooden toilet seat, if flipped down carelessly, will slam down with a bang, risking damage to the toilet and, in the worst case, a plumbing flood. Here is a badly cracked toilet bowl that was broken by the calamitous falling of a heavy wooden toilet seat that slammed down, perhaps more than once. What is this hefty bronze cuff-like object? A neighbor of mine asked me to help him identify and get more info on this object that he's had for decades. He said he felt something when lifting it. Something I didn't expect from him, but curious nonetheless. Approximately 6 inches tall, 3.8 inches internal diameter, and fits a 13 to 14 inches bicep, but is too wide for a typical forearm and weighs 9 pounds. The leading theory is that it's punitive, used as a form of punishment or symbol of shame. It could be used to slow or otherwise impair a human. I've spent several hours with AI assistants trying to narrow in on a more accurate term or known type of artifact, but nothing comes up. I'm hoping someone here can identify this thing or point me in the right direction. Thanks. That's an African bronze currency bracelet, a traditional form of metal currency used in various regions of West and Central Africa, especially during the pre-colonial and early colonial periods. These bracelets, often referred to as manillas, served both as ornamental jewelry and as a medium of exchange. These were also worn ceremonially by newlyweds and given to the bride as a form of dowry. These had little circulation and were never used in connection with routine transactions. Instead, they served as reservoirs of wealth in a form that was easy to store and transport. To create some of these bracelets, the artists poured molten metal directly into a cast in the ground called a puddle mold. As the metal cooled, it was wrapped into a circular shape and often even fitted directly to the wearer's body. What is this thing made of wood with a ball roller and a clicker, found at an estate sale in Wisconsin that had a variety of farm items? The ball spins and also swivels by spinning the base, and the metal piece is a clicker of sorts. Apparently, readers of the May 1988 edition of Country Living couldn't figure it out either. Does anyone have an idea? This is a horse massager for click training, mainly used for racing horses if I recall correctly. It's not really done anymore, but they would first massage the horse by hand after workouts so that it became comfortable with being touched. And then they'd introduce the massager, which can apply more pressure to large horse muscles than a human hand. Finally, they'd start making clicks while doing the massage, so that the horse associated clicks with good things happening. The idea behind it is that you'd simultaneously get the horse used to post-workout massage and also click train it. The thought was that doing this in addition to regular click training for handling would be mutually reinforcing. What is this wooden object? My local museum here in the UK is looking for information on this wooden object through their social media. They have no other information about the object other than its approximate length of 23 centimeters. There are small metal fixtures at the top, joining the arms. Any ideas? Please let us know down in the comments. Thanks for watching. Let's make life fun.